For day 6 of economics, we looked at production possibilities curves. Our do now is a review from yesterday with marginal utility and marginal cost. The handouts are online, and the next two slides have all of the answers. So once you've done the do now, take a look at these next two slides and check your work. So today we want to show what we gain and lose when we make a choice. And we do that with production possibilities curves. So we will learn to interpret them, find efficiency and growth, calculate opportunity cost using the PPC, and then create PPC for a given set of data. Alright, a PPC is simply a graph of an economy that shows all combinations of two goods that can be produced with current factors of production. So in these cases we are producing fish and coconuts, or product A and product B. The difference between these two is that one has a straight line, the other is a curved line, so a constant slope and a variable slope. And this is a constant slope because we're using perfectly interchangeable resources, whereas in this one we are increasing our opportunity cost as we produce more of product B. So both are types of PPCs. We interpret them the same way, and they all show these elements, and we'll look at that next. A classic example is to discuss how, or compare how an economy can produce guns or butter. Guns means weapons or national defense, whereas butter would be food and produce. So here's a simple schedule showing different options and how much can be produced of both. And then we can graph that data. And this PPC shows scarcity, because we can only produce on the curve or inside the curve. And so all of these points on the curve, these are our possibilities, thus production possibilities curve, and this line is the actual curve. And everything on or inside the line is possible. We cannot produce outside the line because we do not yet have the resources. We don't have resources because they're limited, and limited scarcity, limited resources plus our unlimited ones is a result of scarcity. We also see trade-offs. If we produce more butter, that means we're going to give up guns. If we produce more guns, we have to give up butter. Thus, because of our limited resources, we have scarcity and we have to make choices. Efficiency is also found on a PPC, and efficiency is the result of using resources in a way that produces the maximum amount of goods. And so all points on the curve are efficient. So even though all the points inside the curve, even letter H, are efficient, are possible, only points on the curve, so these green dots, are efficient. Everything else is inefficient. It means that we are underutilizing our resources. So maybe we have unemployment, maybe we have land that is not being used. We have mineral resources, oil resources that are not being used. That is inefficient. We could be producing more. In letter H, we could be producing 4 guns or 9 butter, or even a point of efficiency, 9 butter and 4 guns. This is still not yet possible. We don't yet have those resources. Growth we find when we shift the PPC to the right. And that can be as a result of more jobs, new resources, more technology. And on the right side, we see technology or an increase in resources that affects both our ability to produce butter and our ability to produce guns. And so the entire curve is going to shift, whereas on the left side, we see a biased technological change. Maybe we have new production methods of growing food that only impacts our ability to produce food, but not our ability to manufacture weapons. And therefore, the PPC is going to shift outward only for butter and not for guns. And again, growth is a result of more jobs, new resources, more technology. So think of the Industrial Revolution, advances in transportation, the internet, electricity. All of those things allowed us to do more things more quickly, more efficiently, and they affected all sectors of our economy. Opportunity cost is the last one that we looked at, and that's a specific number of guns or butter that we give up to make more of another. So to move from A to B, we have to lose 2 guns. We gain 3, but we lose 2, and so our OC is 2. Try these on your own. Okay, let's go over those. So to move from B to C, we give up 2 guns, D to F, 4 guns, E to D, 3 butter, and C to A, 6 butter. We can graph that. So we can find opportunity cost by looking at a table, or we can find it on a PPC. So to move from B to C, we're going to give up 2 guns, even though we gain 3 butter. So our OC is going to be -2. D to F, we give up 4. E to D, we give up 3 butter, and from C to A, we give up 6 butter. The last activity that we did to collect a set of data ourselves was to simulate that we are producers, and we need resources and goods to make these resources to make goods and services. And so we were all given a plot of land that looked like this, and we could farm either triangles or squares by cutting them out like this or like this for triangles. So you can either produce squares or triangles, nothing in between, because there's not a demand for that, and we're only comparing 2 products for our PPC. So students randomly cut out whatever they wanted, and then we filled out this table. And students who had 0 squares had 10 triangles, and the data followed like this. So producing 5 squares equaled 0 triangles. And then we calculated the opportunity cost of making that first square. To have 0 squares, we have 10, but to make that first one, we're going to give up 2 triangles. To make a second one, we're going to give up 2 triangles. To make a third one, 2 triangles, so on and so forth. All the way down, our opportunity cost is constant. And if you recall from the first slide where I had PPC with a straight line and a curved line, I said that a straight line has perfectly interchangeable resources. So this is a constant interval, so a constant opportunity cost, so this will be a straight line. And then we plotted the data on the graph. We connected the points and labeled them, and we have a production possibilities curve. And then as we look at this PPC that we created, we should be able to identify how it shows scarcity, trade-offs, OC, and efficiency. Scarcity, because we can only produce on the line or inside the line. We cannot produce out here. We have limited resources. Our resources included our land. Students were only given a specific amount of land. They had a scissors, physical capital. They had themselves for labor. But if we were to add students, put students together and combine their resources, well, then we could produce a lot more. And that's when we would push our curve to the right. Trade-offs, you can only produce triangles or squares, and to make more of one, you have to give up some of the other. Opportunity cost, we gave up 2 triangles to make 1 square, and efficiency, any point on the line is efficient. A point here is inefficient, as is a point out here. It's not yet possible. Homework, quiz 1 on Schoology. You'll practice some of these concepts as well as review from the past week and a half.